this morning. There are two distinct camps, I'm being told, that are forming inside the PNP as this race, leadership contest gathers momentum. Not quite gathering steam, it is early. It's in the section of the dance we call early juggling. Yeah? So it's really early juggling. And in this moment, in this period, the teams are taking shape. And I've been given 3 lists that I will share with you. Because from this perspective, the PNP's business is the public's business. And the 3 camps, well, one camp is undecided. Some people who are on the fence, or the people who are watching closely and forming these lists believe are on the fence. And there's a key distinction between those two groups. But the 2 hard camps so far, and I don't know if this is their working name, but one camp is holding with Golding. Holding with Golding. And the other camp is forward with Crawford. One has 9 names in it and one has 14 names in it. So based on the early juggling, one side is getting most of the forward in the dance, as we would say. But that's not to be taken seriously, because anybody who knows how a dance goes knows that for early juggling, there's nobody in the lawn except for the man stringing up the sound, the box boy, the selector, and not even the real selector, but one of the sound man, them as you'd call them, laying the records on the turntable to see if everything, the tweeter, the equalizer, the reverb, the this, everything is in sync. Man, we put on the soup, or the soup lady, the chef, people running up and down trying to put this here, put that there, call it off the VIP section. Yeah? So while the music is playing, they're not even paying attention. The only one paying attention to the sound is the man at the turntable and the box boy when they're at each box listening. So nobody in the dance it. So when the garnet's still gone, which every sound man knows, you have to put on that record to test if everything is working good. The song that says, "It's growing, love inside of me, and it is showing." Yeah? Anybody who knows anything about sound, and I grew up in it, so I know. Yeah? Yeah, you put on that, and if everything sounds sweet when you play that record, the sound ready for later. So that plays on a man, jump up, but pay him no mind. Early juggling. Yeah? So the early juggling is showing one group with 9, one group with 14. I'll tell you who they are later down in the show. And then there's a undecided camp. How many in the undecided camp? There are 5 in the undecided camp, including 2 who the grapevine says that those 2 are going to throw their hat in the ring when a contest is on. But we'll talk about that later. So stay with me. There's an incentive for you to remain this morning. Morning, Maureen. You're front and center, ever present. Thank you for staying here and for coming here. There's a matter this morning I want to talk about because, boy, so many things that are attendant to, that concern governance, are controversial when they don't really need to be. And people outside who are given certain information inflame an issue for views and clicks and likes, but there's nothing wrong with that because that's a business they are in, so they have to feed their business, so that's fine, I understand. But then well-thinking people get an impression of systems, an impression of procedures, and more important, an impression of people that may be wrong. And I saw an article in the Gleaner this morning talking about acting appointment leaves Gordon House tense. Clark goes on leave. And even before that article, the vloggers entered the fray early. And they did what I have interpreted as effectively a hit job on the Clark and, of course, their favorite target for criticism, the Speaker of the House. So then the Gleaner comes now after all that with an article that it has sourced from a few people speaking to the clerk going on leave and the deputy clerk feeling disrespected. That's according to an employee. And a senior parliament, well, a member of parliament, didn't say senior or otherwise, who said the happenings were unusual. Now, what has happened in a nutshell is that the clerk has proceeded on vacation leave. The clerk is Colleen Lowe. And she's on leave from July 10 to July 24, 2 weeks, 24 or 14 days. In that time, the Legislative Counsel, Ashley Zimenez, has been appointed to serve as clerk to the House of Representatives. And then now, the man whose substantive post is a deputy clerk. So under normal circumstances, he's Colleen Lowe's deputy, Christopher Cowan. He has been appointed to serve as the clerk to the Senate. So whereas, walk with me, when Colleen Lowe is there and everything is normal, her deputy is Christopher Cowan. But with Lowe on leave, eyebrows have been raised and things have been said because in her absence while she's on leave, the decision has been taken to appoint Legislative Counsel Ashley Zimenez to cover for Colleen Lowe where the operations of the House of Representatives are concerned, and then to ask the deputy clerk to serve and cover the Senate while Colleen Lowe is on leave. Now, the problem for many people is that, wait, this arrangement is strange, untidy, because usually if you have a deputy, when the portfolio holder goes on leave, then the deputy steps in and does everything what the portfolio holder used to do. So how come in Lowe's absence in this moment, they've split the responsibilities and appointed what the Gleaner article quotes people as calling junior counsel. So Ashley Zimenez has been, you see, these discussions are always reductive, because you have to reduce people to make your point. So Zimenez has been reduced to junior counsel. To say, well, how come junior counsel is appointed to be the clerk to the House of Representatives, while the full-time deputy, who should be playing all the roles that Colleen Lowe would have played, has been just given the Senate to look after. I'll have more on that after this break. The mic is low, but several people saying the audio is perfect. Rick saying it is loud. Kevin has done some adjustments. I hope everyone is hearing at a good enough level for us to proceed without any problems this morning. All right? So here's the thing now. This issue with Parliament now, which has gotten out of hand. And I saw the hit piece on the clerk, and I said, well, vloggers doing what they do. But now it has gotten serious because some serious people have entered the fray. And then the Gleaner, their article, if you read it, you'd think, because it mentions, feelings about dysfunctional environment, staff not wanting to speak out because of fear of victimization, and Mr. Cowan being disrespected and all of that. Here's what I know. I've been told that there are issues between the clerk to the Houses of Parliament and the deputy clerk to the Houses of Parliament. And I've been told that those issues have been captured in correspondence between the two and from both parties individually to those to whom they report. I understand that there are, let me put it this way, disciplinary proceedings to which, or at least one disciplinary proceeding to which the deputy clerk is the central figure defending himself. It is also my information that there was a recent meeting where harsh words were exchanged in a meeting involving both parties, the clerk and the deputy clerk. Other people were in the meeting as well. And that the clerk had to walk out the meeting. Her, she was cheering. She said, well, out the meeting. And I've been told that her parting shot when she was leaving was, when the deputy clerk goes, you can call me and I'll come and resume chairing my meeting. And it concerns matters of insubordination. Now, there can only be insubordination from the, since we're talking about junior people, from the junior official against the senior official, the junior official being the deputy clerk, the senior official being the clerk. So she has said that on more than one occasion, he's been committing acts of insubordination. And those things have been written about and have been discussed in the hierarchy of the management of Parliament. Now, what I don't know is whether those issues contributed to the custom not being followed of the clerk going on leave or being absent from the post and the deputy clerk not just falling naturally each. What I do know is that when the Speaker of the House wrote to seek legal advice on whether or not the responsibilities for the Senate and the House of Representatives could be split in the absence of the clerk, that she was given advice. I know that she communicated with the Governor General through the Governor General's Secretary, Major Damian Hill, and that the Solicitor General, Marlene Aldred, was also consulted. So for those saying that legal errors were made and that you can't, under the Constitution and other applicable guidance, laws even, bypass the deputy clerk when the clerk is on leave, and then go further to split the responsibilities, to appoint someone to see over the affairs of the House of Representatives and somebody else to see over the affairs of the Senate. The Solicitor General said, no, that is entirely in keeping with the law. In fact, the Solicitor General said, based on correspondence I have seen, that for the Speaker to recommend that Ms. Zimines in this case be appointed to look after the affairs of the House of Representatives and to make that recommendation to the Governor General for him to approve is entirely in order. But that for the Senate, it would need the President of the Senate to make a recommendation as to who should take charge there. But for Juliet Holness to say to the GG, well, my recommendation is for Ashley Zimines to serve until the Speaker returns, is entirely in order according to the Constitution and the other applicable guidance. That's what the Solicitor General has said. So that kills the argument about it not being, it running a counter to what the Constitution sets down. No, there are a whole lot of issues behind the scenes that I don't have information about. But I'm just saying that to make it seem as if some error has been made and some Machiavellian purpose is being served by this. And I don't know But if I know at a certain level, titles are so very important to people. And I know that I tell my reporters here, every person who has a PhD, every person who has certain qualifications or has earned certain degrees and who wants to be acknowledged and addressed same, never make a mistake by not acknowledging them in the way that they expect to be, especially if they have the professional credentials to support how they want to be addressed. They have worked hard for it, they have paid for it. Give them their due. It is very important. It's a non-negotiable here. And they'll tell you that I'm always on their backs. Acknowledge people for the titles they have. I believe in it. Even though I'm not a man of titles myself. I view things different. But if you say you want to be referred to as Dr. So and so and you want your titles to be recognized, you'll get no pushback from me, you'll get support. But I don't know if I am a deputy clerk. And the clerk goes on leave. And I'm told by my superiors, in this case the Speaker of the House, in writing, that in the absence of the clerk, that I'm going to be in charge of the Senate and somebody else will be in charge of the House. I don't see why I'd raise hell over that. Why? What's the material benefit in going to war over something like this? What? Isn't it more important to be good at your job, to be efficient, to be thorough? What is so important in why am I not given this responsibility? It's 2 weeks pay. According to government rules, I don't think you even get the 2 weeks pay either. You might get a duty allowance for acting. I don't know. It's not, I don't know, big money. So what's the big thing? You're gonna go to Price Smart and wave a card? Hey, I'm acting clerk for Parliament. No. And what? You're gonna get services faster? Come on, man. So this briefing and leaking and conspiring and making it seem as if the women at the helm, well, part of the helm because the gentleman Thomas Tavares Finson leads the Senate. But to make it look as if, the Wholeness and Law are plotting to hold down people and undermine people, especially with the things that the deputy clerk, is at the center of where disciplinary proceedings are concerned. Just chill, deal with the Senate for the 2 weeks and keep it moving. What is this seeding the channel of vloggers and what is all of this for? Come on, man. Kevin, let's take the break and come back bang on the 30 to open the lines to the call.